Hello Street Fighter Squad and welcome to today's video where I want to talk a little bit about Street Fighter 6 and my hopes for Street Fighter 6. It's been a while since we've had anything from the franchise in terms of a standalone game. We've had lots of cameo appearances. We've seen Ken and Ryu, Chun-Li, Cammy appear in Fortnite. We've even seen cameo appearances in Hot Wheels, Power Rangers, Brawlhalla. I hope I haven't left anything out. Super Smash Bros. If I haven't said that already. But we've seen loads of cameos, but not a standalone game. And I think it's about time that we do get one. But I think all the elements have to be aligned in order for us to get a quality game that we all want and need. Who doesn't need a really cool Street Fighter game in their life, you know? I think that technology has come a long way. So we're going to see two important things. The first point is VR technology. I'm hoping that Capcom will incorporate it now that we're seeing huge leaps and investments in terms of companies providing us quality games for VR technology. And if we could get maybe not a standalone game, that would be really cool in itself to watch. I know at one point they were developing it and it was all rigged where, you know, they had cables going everywhere and safety issues and so forth. But now that it's been tailored down for homes and people are sort of used to even having like Wii controllers strapped to their hands and maybe even motion for their feet, I think it would be really cool and entertaining to see how big league teams have people come on board. Maybe that's what the Luke story is all about as an MMA player, because I think the players that we know and love would have to start taking martial art lessons to pull out some really cool moves, and I would love to see that in an arena. So maybe that's the direction that they could go with a standalone VR game. But I would like to see bonus stages in VR, have sort of an element where you can explore the stages in the background. Who wouldn't like to see, you know, M. Bison's lair, see what that all looks like, or Ken's mansion, or, you know, just Chun-Li's stage. There's so many stages and so many characters. I think it would be cool to explore it all. And there's other elements that they could include, breaking the car, maybe cutting a bottle in half, breaking bricks. There's all sorts of things that they could now incorporate in a VR scenario. So I would really love to see that incorporated in Street Fighter 6. And not to mention the social element of VR. I think it's really cool. They're pumping a lot of money into it. Oculus Quest 2 is out and 3 is also due to be released shortly, and with Sony developing the VR 2, I think that would be really, really cool for them to show off what they can do and give us something that we can appreciate and maybe release the stages afterwards. And in terms of a social component, I think it would be really cool to meet up with your friends if you're subscribed and so forth, and be able to go to arcades, Pachankyo parlors, museum galleries and stuff like that, all in VR, you know, and exchange real money for virtual coins, which you could use in UFO catchers or the classic retro games, and maybe win NFTs or other tokens for prizes that you could exchange for real gifts online. I think all that sort of stuff is there now. It's not far-fetched as it seems, and I think that it would encourage people, if they can't get out in the real world, to do it in the virtual world. And it'll be very reminiscent of the 90s arcade scene, which actually seen incorporated in VR, where you could stand next to a cab, an arcade cab. Excuse me, and it was awesome. It was the lick, having to see how that all came into play, and you could actually use the controllers and everything to play the game that you were seeing in VR, standing next to an arcade machine. And, you know, having your friends around would be very reminiscent of the 90s. And I think that would be a cool way to not only make money, but show off the technology that's available. Point number 2 that I've got is also linked to technology, is stable connection. Now that all the consoles have got new improvements and hardware, and internet service providers, get it out, you know, internet service providers, right? Okay, so we've had a lot of complaints about Street Fighter 5 at the moment and its stability, and people rage quitting because they're in a tournament or in a game rather, and the connection lags, and they're in a ranked match, and there's frame loss and all sorts of glitches, which really is important to them, but prevents them from being able to play a fair game. And I've heard that there are lots of complaints in regards to that. But now that we've got the technology, I think that we will see a vast improvement, and people won't have any excuses if they were potentially using it as one, and we might see a little less complaints in regards to losing games over potential frame loss. So let's see how they do. Like I say, the technology is there, for a stable, cool game. So let's see what pans out with that. My third point would be a working title. I've heard rumours that it might be called Street Fighter 6 The Next Level. I think that's a pretty cool way to go. Most of the other Street Fighter games have all had a name of some description. And I think it would be a little bit boring just to call it Street Fighter 6 and then call it Street Fighter 6 Championship Edition. With nothing wrong with it, but we've had that already. So I think something fresh, sort of in the same line as Street Fighter 3, maybe not. I love There's a lot of people that appreciate all the games that they do, so I'm not going to make it a one-sided argument. But I think a working title would be pretty cool for Street Fighter 6, especially if people are going to be seeing and getting some really cool technology, graphics, and gameplay mechanics. So let's give us something. I hope that it is called Street Fighter The Next Level. I think that name is a dope title for it. Or Street Fighter The Next Level Turbo. It could go on that way. But if you've got any comments or if you've got any ideas, reach out. I'm happy to put it forward to Capcom, see what they say. And plus circulate it around the rest of the FGC community. Shenlong.com was out there last April, so fans do a lot of cool stuff for Street Fighter, and it sort of keeps the spirit alive. So let's see where that goes. But a working title of some description for Street Fighter 6 is what it needs, I think, in my opinion. Fourth, that's one, VR stability. 3 was a working title. Fourth, I would say a movie. Normally we get a movie, with the exception of Street Fighter 3. We never got an animated series or a live action, anything for Street Fighter 3. I might start reaching out to certain people to see if I could do a fan-made one. If you'd like to see that, please hit it up in the comment box below. Show some support, subscribe and all that good, like this video and all that good stuff. And maybe I can get something out to the rest of you fans, because it's long overdue. But in terms of Street Fighter 6, I would really like to see, or expect rather, something for us to help familiarise ourselves with the characters and tie in the whole storyline. Maybe Netflix might pick it up, because I know they've done Monster Hunter already, and they've done Dragon's Dogma, and as far as I'm aware, Mega Man is due for a series as well. So Street Fighter, maybe an animated or a live action film or series would really go down. I think we need it, and we've seen it with the rest of the titles, so I'm hoping that there will be something for us to familiarise ourselves with all the cool characters that we've known and loved, and see how they're developing and where M. Bison is taking them. And how, the characters are endless. Akuma and Ken and Ryu and Chun-Li, Guile, all the classics, Dalcium, DJ, T-Hawk, Cammy, everyone that we know and love, Fei Long, Jury. It's going to be really, really cool to see how these characters, and maybe even Rose might make an appearance. I'd love to see Menette, because she's my main, see where it carries on, because with the tie that binds, it sort of left us open-handed. Sev is there, and I don't want to go off topic, because I'll make another video about the anime stories, canons and timelines. I think that's another idea. I'll save it for another video. So that would be my fifth point, would be hopefully a animated series of some description or live action. We've had it for Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. We've had Street Fighter Alpha Generations. We've had The Ties That Bind. We've had Super Street Fighter 4, the OVA. We've had Street Fighter Resurrection. And there's also a fan-made film, Street Fighter Psychosis. So please check it out. It was released December 2021. It's pretty cool. It's a short, fan-made short of Street Fighter. And I think it's introducing Violent Ken and so forth, but who knows, it's worth checking out, and hopefully they might even be involved in something for Street Fighter 6. So check it out if you haven't already. That's Street Fighter Psychosis. I'll put a link at the bottom of the description, and hopefully you guys can check that out and show that some love. So my next point was the sixth point that I've got would be hopefully the return of Yoshinori Ono in some capacity, because he's been there from the beginning of Street Fighter 2. He was in the sound team and he worked his way through and up. And I think he's had a bit of a raw deal because everyone's placed a whole load of expectations on him when he's had to deliver to shareholders. You know, the days of when Capcom were making money through the arcades and could invest and release, you know, there was competition to sort of pay homage to or compete with, has changed, and they're not the financial elements are not there. And he travels. He's been traveling and doing a lot of hard work for the Street Fighter franchise. Comic-Con in the States, his presence is there, launching for this, launching for that, and I think with the ever, you know, progress is important, and to be able to develop the game, release the game, make money, and keep the fans happy takes money, makes money in people's time. So I'm hoping that he will make a return. I know he's working, or they say he's working for the Lightworks, and it wouldn't be unusual for little studios. Like I remember Clover Studios and even Akira and studios like that have all worked for Capcom or with Capcom, so some capacity. So I'm hoping it's something similar where maybe he's concentrating on the VR element or the movie element or the mechanics. But I think because he was so busy, it was impossible for him to really get into something and give us what we want for Street Fighter 6, because it's got to be all new. He's put all the pieces of puzzles together, and it would be really cool to see whether or not he can have his names in the credits or be a part of Street Fighter 6, because he has, you know, as we know, he has been a very important part of Street Fighter and the journey. And despite taking a lot of criticism, you know, it's not easy. I know the celebrity status is probably great, you know, but after a while it's difficult when people have expectations. So without trying to defend the guy or whatever, I've never met him, I don't know him. These are just my thoughts and opinions from, you know, from an objective of trying to see it from another perspective. So that's where I'm coming from. So I hope that he is a part of it, and it'd be really cool if he is. So let's see. You know, we haven't got long to go before they give us some news and let us know what is happening and when it's due to be released. Just to keep things current and fresh, I know that a new patch is coming out for Street Fighter 5, so there'll be new gameplay, new mechanics. I think there'll be a few buffers and a few nerfs for characters, and it will carry us through to Street Fighter 6. So let's see. If you've got any comments to add or any, let me know, and if I can do a video about that, I will too. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Fighter!